Hi guys, so for today's look we are going to be doing a Game of Thrones inspired braid. The first thing you're going to do is section the hair. It's going to be 5 sections in total, 2 at the top and 2 at the bottom, and then your beautiful little rat tail going down the back there. And I just clipped or pinned these away. I didn't worry about that back middle section. If you want to pin it away you can, and if not, just be careful not to incorporate it into any of your braids. Okay, so once you're done sectioning the hair, you can get going. I started on the top, and you're just going to do a basic French braid, but it's going to be Dutch style. So you're going to be taking your 3 strands and braiding underneath instead of over top, and this just gives you a little bit more of a textured fuller look. So you can just continue this down until you reach the crown of the head. Okay, so once you get to the crown of the head, you can continue your braid down as far as you want. You don't have to go all the way down. You're going to be taking this bottom section out in a little bit, so I just did about down to the middle and then tugged it a little bit to give it some texture and then tied it off with an elastic. Okay, so once that section is complete, you can get started on the other side. And I just did a little bit of resectioning on this side because I wanted to make sure I had a nice clean part. And if you have to do the same, don't worry about it throughout this whole look. You want to make sure you've got some nice clean lines, just because at the end of the braid you can see where your part line is. So take your time with it, play around with it, and make sure you're happy with the way it looks, and just keep that little middle strand out of the braid in the back there. Okay, so once you're all happy with the way you have your sections, you can get started on this side. It's going to be the exact same look as you've already done on the other side. It's a Dutch braid, French style. So as I said before, you're going to go underneath and not over top. And you're going to go down to about the middle, just like you did on the left side.
Everybody gets high sometimes, you know. What else can we do when we're feeling low? So take a deep breath and let it go. You shouldn't be drowning on your own. And if you feel you're sinking, I will jump right over.
So once you're happy with the way that this braid looks, you're going to take these 2 top sections that you completed, and you are incorporating them into one big braid going down the middle. So first I just took out the elastics that I had used to secure the braids, and then I just took those middle sections and made them into one, and then just did a basic 3-strand braid going down the back. It sounds a little bit complicated, but whatever way you know how to make these 2 braids become one is the right way. So just continue that down the back, tie it off, and then just play around with it until you're happy with the way it looks. So now that you've got that section all secured, you can start on the bottom 2 sections. It is the braid that you're so familiar with by this point, the Dutch French braid. So going underneath, and this time you are going to go all the way to the bottom with the braid. So just go down the base of the neckline and then just continue that braid as far down as you'd like. I think I went pretty close to the bottom here. So once you're happy with the way that this braid looks, you can just tie it off with an elastic once you've kind of played around with it, and then you can get started on the final section. Same thing over here, you guys know the drill. It's going to be a Dutch French braid, and you're just going to go down to about the same length as you have on the other bottom section, and just make sure to leave out that middle piece because we're going to be using it in the next step. I like to pull these side braids out as much as I can for this look. I think they look better when they're a little bit thicker. You can do this by giving yourself a larger bottom section as well, but I like the look of the smaller braid more pulled out. And then once you're happy and you played around with it, you can just secure that off. Okay, so now what we're going to be doing is essentially weaving the hair together with that piece that we've been saving, the lovely little piece down the middle of the back. So I just stuck my fingers through the left braid and made a little hole and then pulled the hair through it and just continued this kind of in an over and under pattern throughout the 3 braids. All you're really doing at this point is just securing the braids together with a piece of your own hair. So whatever way you want to pull these through, there's no certain technique or right or wrong way to do it. You just want to twist it around the hair, and then it's really easy to tuck or pin away at the very end. So I think I stopped after I had pulled it through about 2 or 3 times, and then you're going to be removing all the elastics that you've used to hold the braids up until this point, and then just playing around with the braid, making sure you like the way that it looks. So now you're going to secure all 3 of these braids together with an elastic, and then just tugging and pulling and making sure everything looks just how you want it to be. I left quite a bit of hair at the bottom there, and I kind of like the way that looks with this style. And then I took my beautiful little decoration I got from a Halloween store that I thought worked perfectly for a Game of Thrones look, and then just tied it off to complete the finished braid. Thanks for watching.